No, I visited your desk.
Here's for the crazy ones. The misfits. The rebels. The troublemakers. The round pegs in the square holes. The ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. But the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Think different. Think different like the crazy ones. Think different to change the world. That is the vision of Apple as a company. And that has been their vision since the day Steve Jobs took it over back in the late 1990s. And one of the first things he did was create this ad. But not only for his customers, not only for the consumers that were buying Apple products, but more importantly, he made this and showed it to his employees, to show them exactly what Apple stands for, why they are here. They are here not to create products. They are not here to compete with Microsoft to create the next PC. They are here to change the world. And that has been the driving force for Apple since then, throughout all what they have done in their corporate history. So today I would like to talk about what a vision is, how to create it, what are a general characteristic of a vision, and how leaders should communicate it to their organizations and their teams so that it gets realized. And this is all part of the Leadership Excellence series that is created by Toastmasters specifically to deliver this kind of material to our Toastmasters audience. So it is tailored for us. So let's go. What exactly is a vision? Imagine that you're walking in a forest. It's late at night, it's getting dark, and suddenly the path that you were following is no longer there. You don't have any GPS. There are no signs there anymore. How would you go forward? Should you go right? Should you go left? Should you go straight? Should you go back? If you would ask people who used to live without all this technology, they would say, look in the sky. Look for the North Star, because you can always find it no matter where you are. And that will help you to decide in which direction that you need to go. So imagine that vision statement or vision for a company, organization, for a team, or even for yourself is exactly the same thing. It is your North Star. When you need to make a decision, when you need to decide in which direction you should go, that's where you look. You look at your vision. According to Toastmasters, a vision is a mental picture of what an organization aspires to become. This means it is not about what it is today, or what even it would be tomorrow, or 6 months from now. But it is more about what it could be in 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years. So when Apple had their vision of changing the world, it was not for the next year. It is eternal. No matter which year it is or how long they have created this vision, it is still valid. And this exact thing is called a vision statement. This describes vision clearly to the organization in a simple form. But why do you need this vision at all? What is the point? Any guesses?
To know where to go.
To know where to go?
Easier to make decisions.
Exactly. It provides a general direction. provides context for decision making, just like Powell says. Affects an organization's structure. How you structure can depend on vision as well. Affects working relationships. How you deal with conflicts. How do you deal with conflicting situations where you have to decide which may hurt? Both are bad options and you have to decide on one of them. How would you deal with it based on your vision? All of these things are required, and vision, as I said already, is not for 1 day or 2 days or 5 days. It's not even for 1 year. It is for life. It is to look far, far ahead, just like you would look at a North Star, to decide how you want an organization to be. But how does a vision statement should look like? What are a typical characteristic of a vision statement? First, it's very clear. It's clear enough to be understandable by everyone. It's challenging. So it's not something like saying, we need to increase our revenue by 10%, and that is our vision. It is challenging, like the way Apple's vision is. They want to change the world. That is challenging. But how do you measure changing the world? Is there a way you can say that Apple changed the world or not? You could ask 10 people and they would give you 10 different answers. So it is something that is not clearly measurable, but it is challenging. So if you believe in that, no matter if you achieve it or not, that's beside the point. The way that you will go towards that is what challenging means here. So your vision statement needs to be something which people can aspire to. It needs to be generic. So as I said, it cannot be that I want 10% increase in my revenue. It needs to be oriented about people. Here we are talking about organization, especially in these slides. So when you describe that vision to people, they understand. They believe in themselves that this is their vision as well, and they need to work hard towards getting it. It needs to be inspiring. If it is not inspiring, people will forget the very next day. Apple's vision of changing the world is inspiring for those people who really want to change the world. And it needs to be easily communicated. So it needs to be simple and clear enough that you just can share it as easily as you can share Apple's vision of changing the world. And how would you craft a vision statement? So any ideas how would you get to a vision statement? Think of our club. How would you define a vision statement for our club?
Purpose of existence.
Purpose of existence. Very good. What else? Maybe
What do we want to change? How do we want to affect the world? Yeah.
Okay, that's good. What does the organization do well? So what do we do that is better than everyone else? What is the most important thing that the organization wants to do? As Miho said, what we want to change, what we want to achieve. What makes the organization unique or special? This is very important. You can have many organizations competing in the same, let's say, products or services, but what makes you unique, that is more important towards your vision. What does the team expect from the organization? And this is here we talk about what the people want, the people that are working for that organization in that team. When you ask these questions to yourself, that is how you get to the vision of the organization. These questions are supposed to help to create that vision. Now let's look back at the example of Apple. So what makes them different? Does it make them different because they create iPhone? Or that they created these Macs? What makes Apple different than any other company?
They wake up, they sell it.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
But actually, a lot of companies do sell in the way Apple sells nowadays because they copied from them. The style. One thing that is very common with Apple is what they did was that their vision statement was so simple that we want to change the world. So it was not about products, it was not about technology. So that means that they are not restricting themselves to any particular field. So tomorrow they could be baking the best pancakes in the world and say that we change the world for that. And that is entirely possible if they do actually create the best pancakes in the world. And that is what they have done consistently with every product that they have made. It has disrupted that same market in which they entered. They were not always making phones, they were not always in music. They entered and they disrupted those industries. And the final point that a leader definitely needs to keep in mind is communicating a vision. So you can have a great vision, an inspiring vision, it's very clear, it's very aspiring to go to, but if you're not able to communicate it effectively, people will not get it. So you need to talk about it all the time. You need to explain the benefit to the people, so what they will get out of this vision. You need to be enthusiastic about it. And you need to show that you mean it. And this is where it gets very important, because if a leader has a vision and he tells everyone that this is the vision and we should work towards it, but at the end of the day, his own actions are not aligned with that vision, nobody will follow that. So he needs to be an example of how we can achieve that vision. So keeping all of this in mind, and giving the example of Apple, that is a bit far away from us because we don't work in Apple. Maybe a lot of us don't buy Apple products like myself. But Wroclove speakers, we are all part of that. We are today in Wroclove speakers meeting. So what is our vision? And we came to this vision in the same way as I described before. We asked those questions. What makes us unique? Why are we here? What makes Wroclave speakers different than any other Toastmaster club that we have in Wroclave or in the world? We have more than 15,000 clubs all over the world. And this is what we came up with. To be the best Toastmaster club in the whole world. By consistently providing a supportive and friendly atmosphere, combined with the professional quality in everything that we do in the club, so that our members can express their creativity and grow. And that represents everything that we do here. And that is absolutely not limited to just public speaking or leadership skills, that all Toastmasters Club are doing and does not make us unique in any way. What makes us unique is the environment that we provide, the community that we have, and how we do it. How we let our members be creative and grow. And one clear example of that is today's theme, for example. Some people said that this was a controversial theme and maybe not something we should have for our club. But we as a club do not have any such restriction on such topics. We had interesting debates where we had very controversial topics. And we talked about them in front of public. And we don't mind, because that's how we learn. That's how we express our views in a creative and a nice way. We don't judge for that. But this is not limited to such special events. This is about everything. So when you come here and give a speech, when you take a role and give in the meeting and give an evaluation, when you are Toastmaster of the night, when you are a club officer, whatever you are doing needs to be with the right quality. And it needs to be the best that you can do. That is what we believe in, and that is what we want to encourage in every member in our club. In conclusion, having vision is the first step, but it's not written in stone. We live in an ever-changing world. That means that it may happen that you create a vision and things change. The atmosphere changes, new problems arise, new technologies are there, which are affecting your organization. And that does not mean that you need to stick with your vision. You can adopt it. And that's what good leaders will do. They will adopt that vision and then communicate it back to the members of that organization, so that they understand why it is being changed, and they feel that they own this change and it's in their own interest to work towards that vision. So this is very important to keep in mind. And I would like to conclude with this very awesome quote by the author of Little Prince. If you want to build a ship, don't drum up people to collect wood, and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea. Thank you.